Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of SteerBridge Insights. I'm your host, Chris Mayfield, a business analyst at SteerBridge. Today, we're talking to Raul Lanes, one of our managing directors at SteerBridge. His expertise is in project management, talent management, and veteran empowerment. And while his name is Raul, he often goes by his call sign, Boogie, and Boog for short. So if you hear me say Boogie or Boog, that's his call sign. Boog, thanks for coming on today. If you could, tell us a little about yourself and your role at SteerBridge.
Sure, Chris. First, thanks for the intro. I, like you, am a grateful Marine veteran. Learned so much about myself, right, and others in that organization. I was lucky to do a couple things. One, I was a 46 pilot. Two, I was a business analyst for human capital management, and then was fortunate enough to serve many people in Hawaii as a base commander. Actually, I joined the company 3 years ago to this month at SteerBridge, and for the team here, I'm the managing director of a couple of verticals. I think we'll get into that, but yeah, happy leader in SteerBridge.
Awesome. Well, thanks for telling us a little about yourself. And, you know, with your background and SteerBridge's expertise, you know, or their way about doing business is pairing domain experts with technical experts so that we can provide valuable solutions to our customers. Could you explain a little bit of your experience in project management, talent management, and veteran transitions?
Sure thing. So let's start first with the project management. And I'll refer back to the time in the Marine Corps. There's nothing like watching a team of people, right? And project management is just that. It's a tight team that knows an end state for a customer, knows each other's capabilities, comes together, and then through time and resource management delivers on that. And SteerBridge does that exceptionally well. It's actually the center of our company. We're a project and program management centric company. Great combination, great strategy. Talent management. So not a new thing, right? Not a new thing. Now, I think the context of which people want to manage talent, so an organization that's seeking it or someone that's wanting to apply it, that has changed. I think that has to go with the information age, people's desires and work. So did that in the Marine Corps. I'm going to date myself. So started managing talent in the 90s, right? Now helping to manage talent in a small company. Exciting, critical, but I think it's an enduring challenge, just in a different context now. Veteran empowerment. Actually, those things go together with, in this case for SteerBridge, with those first two.
Right.
Veterans are very good at leading small teams, knowing the mission, making it deliverable, whether that's, you know, arriving to a certain port on time or to deliver subtask 2.8, right? Empowerment for veterans. I think project management, talent management together it's just a great combination. And veterans are sought all the time for their ability to lead small teams and to deliver projects. And we have great examples of that in our company.
Awesome. Thank you for that. As we dive into the topic today of project management, talent management, and the unique challenges that veterans face in their transitions, right? Why are project and talent management crucial aspects of organizational success, particularly in the context of veteran transitions?
Yeah, let's start with what organizational success is. For SteerBridge, number one, it's to deliver for our customer, to understand that our work, although it at times a daily task thing, ties into something higher, which is the success or mission of that company. So we are very good at attracting talent, right, that can appreciate that. And honestly, that's a hard thing to do. I think in the job market today, we saw a lot of change through COVID. Again, people's expectations of how they work and why they're working, to find the right people that can appreciate a mission, right, and then daily translate into their work, remain motivated and focused, that's hard to do. So that is the essence of talent acquisition and search. And especially in the government contracting field, it takes a special type. So that is key to organizational success. Finding the right talent, Now we went to the tactical level or skill level of projects, right? Again, I believe veterans are from day one when they go to boot camp to when they go through the ranks into leadership, understand that the ability to integrate a team, manage resources, and then adapt to an environment is directly transferable to project and program management. Probably why, the government contracting sector relies on a lot of veteran talent, because they know how to deliver that.
Right. Thank you for that. As SteerBridge goes out, SteerBridge is a very veteran-centric organization, and not just the veteran, but the veterans' families, whether it's spouses and family. Talent management is critical to the success of SteerBridge, and the value is then passed on to our customers, right? Some argue that veterans possess unique skills that are often overlooked. Why do you think SteerBridge is able to capitalize on that?
I think we're really good at attracting the right type of person, which happens to be a veteran, okay? Because we have other very talented and focused people. Because, one, our values as a company, we understand what they are. So when you understand who you are, you can probably find yourself in others. I think I've been in other organizations, not the Marine Corps, but say some volunteer organizations that I kind of donated my time, and we struggle with that. And guess what? We had a hard time finding the right people to fit. So I think number one, we're a team that understands our values, so we can easily see and find that. Right. I think a second one is we have an ability to understand that, especially in the veteran community, that veterans, their commodity of work is service, right? And, the veterans military people take an oath to serve their duty to the Constitution. I think it takes veterans to understand how to translate someone that wants to give duty to someone that now wants to serve another customer from a private sector entity. We do a good job, and you might say, "Hey, Boogie, you just talk some mumbo jumbo, right?" Those of you that are transitioning, you understand what I'm saying. Hey, when you come to the private sector team, we did serve our duty, right? In this case, when you're in the private sector in the market, you're taking your talents, right, giving them to a team so you can serve a customer. Two different things. Right. We do a good job of understanding the difference.
Yeah, I agree. And you mentioned that we have other talented folks on the team at SteerBridge that aren't necessarily veterans, and maybe not a spouse, not even a family member. How is SteerBridge able to pair, the veteran and the way in which they think and operate, and pair them with a very talented person that may not have that type of cultural upbringing in terms of military service? How are we able to bring them together to provide value to our customers in a very seamless way?
Yeah, great question, Chris. And I tell you, I will call this secret sauce, right? And other companies have secret sauce. Definitely SteerBridge. I'm going to go with humility in both. The younger one, in this case, maybe younger, right? But I'm an older guy. Non-military veteran background, very talented, and military veteran background, as talented. Two different worlds. I think when they both have humility, they can maintain a sense of and set an environment to learn from each other, right? It just happened to be the dynamic in our company. It's kind of younger and older, right?
Yep.
And we can take note. When young is humble and old is humble, and know that together they can learn to then deliver something together, I think that unlocks a synergy and understanding that is unbeatable.
Thank you, Matt. Why is it essential for businesses to effectively manage projects, talent, and support veteran transitions?
They're the adage of glass balls, right? So I think there's many things a company can do, but there are a couple that are glass balls, right. And those are the ones you've talked about, especially in the space we're in. If you cannot attract the right talent in this dynamic industry, you're probably going to drop the other two balls,
right?
Right?
Yeah.
If we talked about, the cog or engine, the main cog in our company, right, which is we are program manager or project centric. So you have to have the ability to set the conditions. That could be resourcing, direction, or support and coaching to those two project managers and program managers. They are on the front line. They deliver. Delivery, right, is your name and your reputation, and that's how you grow your business. So those three glass balls, I feel fortunate that we have leadership that understands how to dial that in.
Right. Okay, thank you. And for the listeners out there that may not understand the analogy of the glass balls, whether it's in your personal life or your professional life, as you're juggling tasks or different areas, you've got glass balls and rubber balls. And some can drop and they'll hit the ground and they'll bounce back up and you can recover from those. But if you drop a glass ball, it's going to shatter on the floor and it's going to impact the overall success of whatever it is that you're doing. And so as Boogie's talking about that, those were three glass balls. And if you drop one of those, it's going to have an impact on everything else that you do. Right. Why is it essential or shifting? All right. We're going to transition to industry current stand where the industry currently stands. Right. Can you describe the current landscape of project and talent management practices?
Sure thing. I want to focus probably landscape-wise on what I see as different, not disruptive, but different in those two cases, in project and talent management. Interesting. Was talking to my kids about it. Future, talented people, but the future. I think the biggest difference for those two key concepts and abilities is we're doing it in an age where information goes quickly, right? And not only is it fly quickly, the customer expects you not to know how to use that. So that imperative changes how project managers kind of orient and act, right? And then talent managers orient and act also. I think it's much faster. The expectation of detail and certainty has gone up. So I think the principles are probably as sound as they ever were or unchanging between project and talent management, but the environment, again, in the information age is really the big difference on the landscape.
As in a post-COVID world, right, the employers have seen that the employee has a vote. Much larger vote in work conditions than they had in the past, right? You see the efforts of return to work or hybrid and remote type or return to the office hybrid approaches. In project management, you've seen a shift to agile, right? So you've gone away from traditional waterfall where it's very predictive, very prescriptive, and you're going to do this at this time and you're going to at the end have a deliverable, where agile is a little more nimble and your deliver in iterations and increments. Do you think, and talent management kind of fell into the waterfall for a long time. Do you see talent management becoming more agile like that in terms of maybe not as the way in which you satisfied the needs of and retained talent in the past are not necessarily how you will retain and maintain talent in the future?
Well, that is that is quite a question. Okay, so let's we'll take waterfall and agile, right? So we'll do waterfall, kind of like adages, like this is what I think and this is my intent. Go get it done. Run away, come back, right?
Yep.
Agile. I want to stay with you. We're going to fail fast and learn.
Yep.
So, interesting. Now we'll take project management. I think project management can go towards agility because those managers, again, going back to the theme of information, they have so much information now, they can be predictive and they have more data. So I think they can actually spin loops faster and then fail and recover, right? Yep. And that's it. So I check with that. I agree. Now, interesting for the talent management piece, because those are people. Right. So do we fail because do we find talent, bring it in, fail fast, and get rid of it? Man, that's a really interesting question.
Right.
I will say this, that as far as reactions to, as operational methods that are reacting to more information. I think people can find people quicker, and the expectation of that person to fit to the company and the company for that person has gone through the roof.
Right.
Because we have confidence in data. I would add this: it's almost like the fail fast for agile for project management, and maybe how it doesn't fit talent management. The talent market is moving faster, right? So we don't throw people out, but the ability to search, choose, and then if you don't find somewhere else is much quicker than probably when you and I got our first job at 18.
Right. And maybe my analogy was poorly phrased. I guess what I'm really driving at is the things that motivated employees or talent prior to COVID compared to now. Do you think that they have changed, right? In a super competitive market where the employee or the talent has options because they can go to LinkedIn and find 7 different companies that are hiring for their talent, right? Does that mean that you have to not only source the right person first, but once you have them, you can't just treat them any way that you like?
Yeah, I mean, this is it's a very interesting question. I think when one way I approach it objectively versus subjectively, I come out with a different answer. Like objectively, right? Someone has talent in the market, they bring value to a company, you pay them. Right?
Yep.
And they're proportional. Subjectively, I want to choose my mode of work, right? I think that has changed in valuation. I think that companies and talent are struggling with almost a value system of what they value in the person. An example would be this. So we were all uniformed employees.
Yes.
The culture is, if you're at the formation at 7 and you're out there at 1600, I'm making the assumption, because you were here all day, that you gave value to the unit.
Right.
Right? So culturally, we love that. You're in the office, right?
Yep.
And now, because of technology has changed, now I think I'm with you, right? The ability to have variation in mode of work and still deliver value is very different than that traditional model. So yeah, I think in that sense, I'm with you now.
Yep.
Expectations have changed,
Right.
But there's still a decision in an at-will arrangement, right?
Right.
You give value, I pay you, or I give you benefit proportionate to what I believe the value of the company is.
And with all of that said, now that we are aligned in terms of where I was trying to go with my analogy, SteerBridge as a company, right, is not pigeonholed or stuck with just finding talent in Vienna, Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
We
Okay.
service contracts across the
Absolutely.
globe, so we can target talent where it resides.
We do that. Yeah, we do that very well, but I'm also going to be very straight, right? I have not seen a better team optimize the modes of work against talent than this team. All right?
Yes.
Now, we are also, as a team, we're not ironclad. We're not Teflon. And this is very mature. We have different people from different former teams with different modes of work that they prefer. And with that, like any team, there can be struggle and friction. I think a professional team knows how to deal with that, and professional leadership does. And I think we do it very well, which is we focus on value and performance. There can be someone down the hall that performs very well with a 3 and 2, right?
Right.
There could be someone in Iwakuni that's, guess what? By their nature and where they are, they're remote the whole time. And we do a good job at optimizing talent. And part of that is choosing and matching mode of work to person.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So SteerBridge has learned how to do what you just described, right? How are we positioned, right, in the fields of project management and talent management to pass those lessons off to a customer that might not have realized that there are other modes to accomplish their mission, and that may take change management and going in and changing the way in which they perceive things and sharing some of the lessons that we've learned. But I feel that this company does extremely well at finding talent where it lives and then utilizing them in a way to bring value to our customers. How can we share that with our customers?
So the biggest way we share is, one, we help them understand that we're adept at answering that question with our own company, right? And a lot of times that happens just in how we market and the stories we tell. Okay, but I think the biggest way is when this team is brought on to support another team, and they see our delivery exceeding their expectations, and they know that we do that through a combination of people and how they work. That we use a team, a data team that's deployed to Iwakuni, with a home team that's at Vienna. That speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. And also would say that, and this is, kind of more on the feeling side, when they know that team is motivated, and probably because there's choice in there about how they chose to work, but they can remain focused on delivery, I think it speaks for itself. That's how you show customers that it works.
Got it. Thank you. Can you share a success story? Now we're shifting more to project management, right? And you can't really manage a project without talent, right? So they're kind of embedded. Can you share a success story where SteerBridge effectively managed a complex project?
Oh, wow. I think my favorite project would be the modernization of the VA's digital GI Bill. Massive project, critical project for national defense and national security. The ability for a generation of people that have fought to seek benefit, to improve themselves, okay, one, for society, but two, society watches, right? And this actually affects our recruiting in a huge way. Very complex. We were working with a great company, Accenture Federal, have been doing it since 19. The complexity, and remember, we were in COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So our teams went from the ability of being on site, okay, to reacting to COVID, dispersing, right? And these are mostly technical, talented people. And then without a skip in quality or performance, keep a critical project going, and a project that was for first time for the VA and for the team had to do a change in work, right? And some of the first kind of cloud integrations at a very large federal customer.
Thank you. And so inside that one project, right, were probably some lessons learned in terms of project management, especially when the mode of performance or work transitioned from in-office to dispersed, managing online teams to deliver a project, supporting talent management, right, because you promise them education benefits, they transition out of the military, and they want to execute on that promise that you made them. That helps veterans in their career transition. All of that tied into one. So I could see why that would be your favorite project.
And
successful.
Chris, as we're talking, I will show you some growth. I had just joined the company 2020, so we're coming out of the COVID, right?
Right.
So again, I came from a very traditional organization. Show up at 07, be at formation of 16. Now I was running a team of younger technical developers, right? So I had to change my mode because I was managing the project, right? About 40 people. My mode of communication, I'm used to this, right? As a project manager, I had to make a rhythm, and this team is dispersed around the country. I had to shape my communication pattern with them, right? I had to change my performance approaches with them. I had to kind of direct and manage deliverables between my team and other teams very differently. So, and I have to tell you that I was the older one and they were younger, and we learned. We all learn from each other.
Yeah, a lot of growth.
Tons of growth.
There. A lot of growth in there. How now we're shifting kind of to the future. We've talked about the projects, and we've talked about the one project related to the GI Bill. There's a current project that's related to manpower modernization, right? And leveraging IT to improve the entire human resource process, right? In the future, how do you see AI supporting talent management and project management?
Wow. Chris, you have some really hard questions today. So let's go with artificial intelligence.
Yep.
Artificial intelligence. Just had a great discussion after reading the article. The author's point was artificial intelligence is to relieve humans of toil so they can be creative. Interesting stance, right? Mm-hmm. So one, for project management and talent management, I will take that vantage point. It's about a decision of now we have a capability, artificial intelligence, where humans will decide where artificial intelligence will do their work and then where the human takes it. All right. Now, and this is actually the great debate, whether that could be art or project management or talent management.
Right.
So here's what I see. I think as far as project management, artificial intelligence like large language models or repetitive rule sets that can be automated, I think fit very well into a sequenced process like project or program management. And I think it will go to the toil part of that, like a repetitive rule set. Show me where 25% of my milestones are 30% off. Right.
Right.
Perfect for AI. Right. Talent management. Humans, right? A machine will never be able to replace the non-cognitive or feeling aspect of a human decision. So in that case, I think it'll do the toil part, right? But eventually, say it's a hiring decision, a human hiring manager that knows and understands so-and-so is talented, and maybe the machine couldn't see certain things, will then come in at a different time to make a decision. But I think that where things plug in with given this new human-machine integration is a big question.
So if I understand, AI has a place in project and talent management, and the humans decide where it plays that part, but at the end of the day, the human is still in the loop. The AI helps either speed or inform the decision that the human makes.
Yes, and I think people's decision on what they're going to do about that is probably one of the biggest personal questions they're going to have to ask themselves.
Okay. SteerBridge is a small yet extremely capable company. We have a lot of native capabilities. We've got a data team that includes data scientists, software engineers, DBAs, you name it. And domain experts from recruiting to logistics to human capital to cloud and data management, right? What advice would you give another small business that's looking to improve their project or talent management practices?
I would, here's the advice. And going back to the beginning of our segment is, I believe SteerBridge does this well. Knowing what the mission of your company is, what the values of your company are, helps you in a very dynamic market nowadays to one, be effective and efficient. You have no time in this market to not know yourself, right? Because that will help you identify and make the right fit. I think also we talked about the advancements of technology. That as a team, you need to leverage that. And it's a strategic decision, because inside of there really becomes, what do you trust the machine to do? And where do you jump in as a human company, as a human element to then make the best decision on who you're going to bring in?
All right. Thank you. That's very insightful. That you need to first know your company, right? Mm-hmm. Before you can go execute anything. You need to know the vision, the strategic vision, et cetera. Reflecting on everything that we've talked about today, right? what would be the key takeaway that you'd hope our audience would remember about project management, talent management, or even veteran transitions?
Wow. At the center of all those managements, right, it's people. It's people. I think the industry, of course, will change, and there's fascinating elements. I mean, heck, Chris, I don't know what beyond AI 5 years from now, what will it be, right? But at SteerBridge, we do it's one of our mantras and part of our culture that people come first.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you cannot lose your focus on that as a leader or led, and as a team. That's my advice. I wish I had something a little more glitzy and glammy, right? But that is a time-honored strategy and philosophy that I'm proud that SteerBridge rests itself on.
Well, I've seen that work well in my prior life in service, and I see it working really well here at SteerBridge. So I think that is some sage advice for anyone out there listening, that at the center of project management, talent management, and veteran is the people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take care of your people, they will take care of you. And if you find the right people, they will deliver value to your customers and carry the value that you want your company to deliver on. As a managing director, I know you are extremely busy. So thank you for your time here today. Do you have any final thoughts you want to share, or are you good with the questions that I've asked to this point?
I'm good, Chris.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it, Boogie.
Yeah.